Here's a little sample of what I'm going to teach you. I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. You don't really care for music, do ya? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall and the major lift. The baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hey folks, it's Rob Hampton from Heartwood Guitar Instruction, and I'm going to show you how to strum and sing Hallelujah, written by Leonard Cohen and covered by just about everybody. I'm going to use the Jeff Buckley version though. His gorgeous cover inspires my arrangement of the tune. Mr. Buckley played the song in the key of C, but he used a capo on the 5th fret and played in key of G chord shapes. And one of the benefits of doing it this way is that you don't have any bar chords to wrangle. A lot of the versions that you see online, the song lessons or chord charts you find, have you playing with no capo and playing using key of C chord shapes, which sounds okay, but it's got an F bar chord in that, and that gives a lot of beginners grief. So this song will be a little easier for people who aren't super competent with the F bar chord. And another benefit is that guys, if you find the song a little high, you can always just scoop down the capo a couple frets. It's like the world's easiest way of changing the key for your voice. Ladies, I'm also going to show you how to manipulate the capo to find a good key for your voice. There is a link for the chord chart down below, so open that up or print it out so you can follow along. And also, if you like this lesson, please subscribe. There are more lessons on the way. Okay, here we go. Here are the 6 chords in the song. The first is a G chord, and even though there are approximately 7 bazillion kinds of open G chords you can fret, I'm going to strongly recommend this one because it'll make moving to the next chord a breeze. You put your 2nd finger on the 6th string, 3rd fret, your 1st finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret, your 3rd finger on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, and your 4th finger on the 1st string, 3rd fret. I call this the 4-finger G. That's what it sounds like. And next is an E minor 7, and check this out, 3 anchor fingers. You just move your 2nd finger from the 6th string over to the 4th string, 2nd fret. And anchor fingers are fingers that stay in the same place while the other fingers move to the next chord. So you just have to move one finger and the other fingers stay glued to the fretboard. This is like having 3 butlers conveying you to the dinner table. May I take your coat, sir? You may need to scoot your 1st finger back a tiny bit to make room for your 2nd, just like that, but no big whoop. All right, next is the C chord. And by the way, E minor 7 and C share an anchor finger too, the 2nd finger. Notice that you don't play the 6th string with the C chord. There are several ways of approaching this. One is just to try to avoid hitting it when you strum. I wrap my thumb around the top of the neck and rest it against the 6th string, not enough to fret the string, just enough to damp it, so that you get like a dull thunk sound when you pick the 6th string. A great trick if your hand's big enough. You can also nudge your 3rd finger up against the 6th string while simultaneously fretting the 5th, and that'll also damp the string, but you need kind of a wide fingertip to be able to do that. Okay, next is a D chord, and again damp or avoid the 6th string. Next is an easy normal E minor. And finally B7, no 6th string on this one either. It's a little hard to cram the B7 in there. In fact, I got my pinky kind of on the fret wire there. Got to be careful with that. And the problem is the capo kind of crowds your hand. And so when I use my capo on this song, I back it up kind of in the middle or a little bit toward the headstock from the middle of the 5th fret. And that'll give you a little more room to fret that B7. Here's an overview of the chord progression. Now heads up, there are chords in the verse that just last for half a measure or 3 beats. Those are marked with the halves in parentheses. And also the last chord in the verse and the first 3 chords in the chorus all last for 2 measures. Okay, here we go. After Buckley does some pretty chord melody stuff, the song gets going with 2 progressions of G and E minor 7. So that's where we're going to start the song. Strum along with me while I sing and just strum once per chord. Grab your 4-finger G chord and remember to use your 3 anchor fingers to get to that E minor 7 and back to G and so forth. Okay, here we go. I'm going to count to 6 and then we'll start with the intro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? It goes like this: the 4th, the 5th, the minor fall and the major lift. The baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Before we move on to strumming, let's just quickly summarize all the different anchor finger opportunities in this song, because there are a lot of them and they make your fretting hand's job so much easier. First, we've got G to E minor 7. You just move that 2nd finger from the 6th string to the 4th string, 2nd fret. And then E minor 7 to C, you use your 2nd finger to pivot off of. And then also from just a regular E minor to C, same deal. 2nd finger stays on the fretboard. And then from D to G, you can leave your 3rd finger on the fretboard while moving the other fingers. Now let's work on strumming. Now Jeff Buckley actually finger picks this tune. He does something like this. Which is really pretty, but too hard for most beginners. And this is a beginner-ish lesson. So we're going to strum the song, and it still sounds gorgeous like this. The strumming pattern that I'm going to teach you is kind of a beginner intermediate strumming pattern. And so I'm going to give you 2 other options for the strumming pattern if this one's too hard. But first, let me just show you the strumming pattern in its full glory, and you can decide whether you want to learn this or something a little simpler. So here's the pattern, and great balls of fire, there are 6 beats in that measure. It's not a typo. The song is in what's called 6/8. That's the time signature, and you'll hear what it sounds like in a second. First of all, though, that B up there means hit just the bass strings of the chord, the 6th, 5th, and 4th strings. Sounds like that. Now sometimes in my strum diagrams that means hit just one note, just hit the bass note in the chord, but that's not necessary in the song. 6th, 5th, and 4th strings is a little easier to hit, and it sounds better, I think. So that's the B. The D stands for down strum, U stands for up strum, and the greater than symbol is an accent mark, and that means strum louder. Now, let me play the strumming pattern for you, and you can decide whether you can tackle it, or whether you want to try one of my simplified versions of the pattern. Bass, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, bass, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's the strumming pattern in all its glory. There are two ways of simplifying it that I think still sound good. The first and easiest way is to just strum on the first and fourth beats. It sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, and so forth. Pretty sparse, but sounds decent and it's easy. The other option, which is kind of an intermediate option, is to get rid of all the up strums in the strum pattern. It sounds like this. Bass, down, 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 bass, down, down, down. I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, and so forth. So there are three options for you to strum. But I'm going to assume that most of you want to learn the real strumming pattern. So let me teach it to you here. I always tell my students, if you can say it, you can play it. So I'm going to say the pattern to you 4 times, and I just want you to keep rewinding, listening to me chant the pattern, and then once you think you've got it, jump in with me and say it along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bass, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Bass, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Bass, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Bass, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Now before we play this on guitar, here are 2 tips to help you with your accenting. First of all, you control the volume of your playing primarily with how hard you grip your pick. And so what you're going to be doing is squeezing that puppy harder on the first and fourth beats. The second tip is that even though accenting means play harder, in practice I've learned that accenting sounds best if you play everything else a little softer. So when you're not accenting, those strums should be really light, and you do that by just letting the pick kind of flutter between your fingers like this. I'm letting that pick move between my fingers and getting this really light, delicate sound. Now if you're not used to doing that, you're going to log some serious airtime with your picks. They're going to be flying all over the place, but just something you got to learn how to control. Okay, so here's the strum pattern. Try playing this along with me. I'm going to play it 8 times, and I'm going to count you in by counting to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bass, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Bass, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Bass, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Bass, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. All right, so rewind and repeat until you've got it, and then we'll try the chorus. It starts with a C chord, and you'll notice that there's a 2 written in parentheses after the C. That means play that for 2 measures. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's one last strumming tip before we move on to singing. Look at the verses and you'll notice that there are pairs of chords that just last for half a measure. They have little halves written in parentheses next to them. It's the C to D chord changes. And what you do there is play just the first half of the strumming pattern for both those chords. So you play the C with a bass down, up, and then the D with a bass down, up, down, up. This is what they sound like together. And this is what it sounds like in context. I'm going to play the second line of one of the verses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think with that last tip, you should be able to strum the whole song now. So let's move on to singing. If you want to sing along with your playing, and really with a melody like this, how can you keep from singing? It's such a great song. The first step is to find a good key for your voice. Just because Mr. Buckley sang it in the key of C doesn't mean you have to sing it in the key of C. But let's try it out for a second and see what you think. In this key, the lowest note in the song is on the 6th string, 3rd fret relative to the capo. That's the note. And then the highest note is on the open 2nd string. So try singing those along with me. La, that one's pretty low. And then this one up here takes some oomph for us fellas. La, la. Got to sing kind of loud to hit that one. So guys, if you think that high note is too high, just move the capo down to like maybe 3rd fret, 2nd fret, somewhere around there. And those starting, or those low and highest notes will be the same. It's still 3rd fret relative to the capo, open 2nd string. La, la. That high note should feel a little more manageable down there. Ladies, you're gonna find that low note too low, probably. And you could start inching up the capo higher up the neck, but once you get past 7th or 8th fret, you're really going to feel like you're in Munchkin land. The frets are closer together, your guitar starts sounding like a ukulele. So unless you just want to bump it up a tiny bit higher, a better option probably is to go capo 0, no capo, and sing 1 octave higher than these notes right here. And so let me show you where those are. This note, which is now a G, you can find 1 octave higher on the open 3rd string. And then the other note, 1 octave higher, is the 1st string, 7th fret. So your low note is la, and your high note is la, way up there. Not a good key for me, obviously, but I think a lot of women will like that. It's a high note for a woman, but not that high. Now, those of you with really high voices can then start capoing up the fretboard even further if you want to sing really high. Now, when you change the key of your song, often it's hard to figure out how to start singing, like what the first notes are of the melody in the new key. So let me tell you. The first note is the 5th string, 2nd fret, and then the second note is the open 4th string. That's for like, now I've heard there was a secret chord, and so forth. So those notes will work no matter where your capo position is. Unless you're one of those women I was talking about earlier, or just any high-voiced person who is singing 1 octave higher. In that case, your first note is the open 2nd string, and the second note is the 3rd fret 2nd string. I've heard there was a secret chord, and so forth. All right, on that note, here is my best rendition of Hallelujah. I'm going to play through the whole song so you can see how the whole thing goes. And apologies, I'm going to be glancing over at my chord chart because I don't have all the lyrics memorized, but I hope you enjoy it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do ya? It goes like this: the 4th, the 5th, the minor fall and the major lift. the baffled king composing hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Faith was strong, but she needed proof. We saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. But she tied you to the kitchen chair, she broke your throne, she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew a hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Say I took your name in vain, I don't even know the name. But if I did, well really, what's it to you? There's a blaze of light in every word. It doesn't matter what you've heard, the holy, all the broken. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Baby, I've been here before. I know this room, I've walked this floor. I used to live alone before I knew you. I've seen your flag on the marble arch. Love is not a victory march, it's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. There was a time you let me know what's really going on below, but now you never show it to me, do you? I remember when I moved in you, the holy dove was moving too, and every breath we drew was hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Maybe there's a God above, but all I ever learned from love is how to shoot at somebody who outdrew you. It's not the cry you hear at night, it's not somebody who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. 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 All right, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you did, please subscribe below and come and see me over at heartwoodguitar.com. Thanks a lot for sticking with me here, and I hope to see you down the road. Take care.